And welcome, Amada Pratap Singh. You're joining us on Newsx. The Indian government has prepared 7 delegations to brief multiple nations about Operation Sindoor and Pakistan's terror. The Congress accused the government of playing games after names proposed by the party, though, were not included as heads of the delegation. The opposition hadn't named Shashi Tharoor, who's been included by the government. Speaking on the Congress's objections, Tharoor said that he had been approached in his capacity as head of the parliamentary committee and also added that the Congress is entitled to its opinion. Mukesh Tyagi, BJP spokesperson, is joining us live. Sujata Paul, Congress spokesperson, is live with us. Javier Rodriguez, political analyst, is joining us live. Nikhil Jain, political analyst, is also live with us. Ambassador Pradeep Kapoor, former diplomat, also joins the broadcast live. Ambassador Pradeep Kapoor, let me make a start with you first. Is this a good idea that there will now be these, inter-parliamentary delegations which will be sent out across the world to combat Pakistan's lies, to brief the world on Operation Sindoor and our war against terror?
Well, I am going to limit my comments to the concept of, sending out delegations, MPs delegations abroad on such occasions. I think it is a very good idea because earlier the ambassadors of India in various countries had been asked to brief their respective governments. Now, when that happens, what we as diplomats do is to go mainly to the Foreign Office and brief the Foreign Office officials, senior officials, including sometimes the minister and other senior officials of the Foreign Ministry. And on occasions, we also brief the officials from the other ministries and departments. And sometimes we do brief some of the other people in the polity. But when a delegation, all-party delegation with MPs comes from the country itself, from India, then for the ambassadors to ask for higher level meetings and with a cross-section of the polity is a lot easier. And then there is a sustained interaction. Now, what happens in the sustained interaction is you also explain your point of view. You brief the host country, polity of what has transpired. But in this case, since it's a very important issue and has been lasting for a very long time, I think the terms of reference for these delegations should be also to ask the host country as to what are their views on this issue in particular, on terrorism in general. What is their stand? What do they plan to do? What will they be doing in this respect in the future? And what they should be doing? And we should have a very clear-cut list of expectations also as to support in the UN, for example, on declaring Pakistan as a terrorist state and putting it in the grey list of the FATF, and making all future loans from IMF and World Bank conditional on Pakistani not supporting terrorism and not being a state supporter of terrorism and not being the epicenter of terrorism. So a lot of such asks should be put, and very firmly we should have discussions with a lot of these countries as to this is an issue which is not just an India problem, it's a global problem. And, it's not just for India to solve this problem, but for the world to understand that it's a problem which impacts them directly and indirectly in many ways, and how we can work together to resolve this problem. So thereafter, you would have some political... Thereafter, you would have some political visits at higher levels of either the External Affairs Minister or the Prime Minister or the Home Minister or the Defense Minister, or a combination of any such people who would go to different countries and then have bilateral meetings to concretize all these asks.
You've explained to us that it happens often. In fact, we're learning this time also that diplomats are likely to be part of it. Before I go to the others, Ambassador Kapoor, then is it unfortunate that it's been politicized already?
Well, I do not want to comment on that aspect, as I said in the beginning. Earlier, our briefings were more in the form of informing the host government that this is what India is suffering, this is what has happened, this is what we
No,
plan
that's
to
what's going to
do,
happen
this is.
probably this time as
But
well. But you
no,
know
no,
what
this time it.
the government has decided to do is they've decided to go with various political party MPs to lead these delegations. Do you believe that's also good? A good sign showing that that everyone is united in the country. However, politics has already erupted. So the
Yeah,
politicization has begun.
I guess it's for the MPs and the political parties to resolve that. But what I'm trying to say is
So
that
you believe something like this
earlier,
shouldn't be politicized?
beg your pardon.
You believe something like this shouldn't be politicized?
No, it should not be politicized, and it is normally not politicized.
Okay,
Normally,
Mukesh Tyagi, what
earlier,
parameters did the government use in selecting these leaders of the delegations? Because the Congress party has said that they gave you a list of 4 names, none of those have been included.
You see, I think the primary interest has to be national interest. And I think Congress is making a mockery of itself by trying to over politicize and trying to diminish the achievements what Bharatiya Janata Party led government has made in this very, very, I think, extraordinary war, mini war between India and Pakistan. The achievement has been extraordinarily, but what is happening is lot of media misinformation is spreading around, which includes international media, which includes Chinese media, which includes media from the different parts of the world. So they are trying to build the narrative that it is not India's victory, it is a Pakistan's victory. That is also which narrative is also growing. Nuclear leaks, all these disinformation which is spreading. Now the question comes in front of us whether what is the most important thing for us to do to bring the global perception at the same page and on the realistic page that India has returned to the terrorist attack on 22nd April where 26 people lost their lives. I mean, if you remember in 2008, I think we succeeded in getting Pakistan on grey list of FATF. The reason was we provided a great document. Not Pakistan has not come as yet on FATF. There is Indus Valley. It's a perception which is happening. They're trying to spread it's a breach of the agreement. There are a number of issues. Whether our Rafales were brought down, whether there, all kinds of how many drones from India side has been brought down. There is a number of theories which are floating right now. And Shashi Tharoor, I think they should be, on the contrary, feeling very happy that one of their parliamentarians has been nominated by Prime Minister of India that he should lead the delegation to US and bring about the perceptual change. And that is what exactly, and he's the best
Sujata
competent.
Paul of the
I
Congress, come in
cannot.
here. Ambassador Pradeep Kapoor saying such delegations should not be politicized. Mukesh Tyagi of the BJP says that the Congress is upset at the unity in the country and the decisive action taken through Operation Sindoor, which is why they are doing this. They should have been happy that one of their leaders has been nominated as the head of a delegation. Instead, they're hitting out at the government. Sujata Paul.
At the outset, I will say that diplomatic initiative is badly needed, and that is why we welcomed it in the first place. And when you talk about politicization, it is the BJP who's politicizing it, because if you remember, the NDA CMs have been called for for a meet on 25th May by the Prime Minister. Why not everybody? Why not all the CMs of the country? This means that they are working only for politics and only vote bank politics. That's it. They want to gain mileage from from Operation Sindoor, which actually belongs to the entire country. But when you talk about mockery, I must say that the BJP is mocking the people of the country, because this is a democracy and there is a parliamentary form of democracy where if you ask the opposition for something, you need to respect it. Don't make a mockery of the people of the nation. And you have misinformed the country about what Donald Trump has said. You are not telling us whether what he's saying is correct. And now today there is a new BJP fellow from Madhya Pradesh. His name is apparently Narendra Prajapati, a namesake of the Prime Minister, Narendra. And he has said something even strange. Stranger, because he says that the UN asked for a ceasefire. Now, who asked for a ceasefire? I don't know. All I know is that who we thought was fire is certainly only ceasefire. But when you talk about the names which were given, there were 4 names. We were asked 4 names. We gave 2 names from the Lok Sabha, 2 from the Rajya Sabha, and very senior members. So if the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs,
Yes,
Kiran Rijiju, wanted to make a mockery of this entire thing, then why did he ask for names? He should not have done that in the first place. The Prime Minister could have simply said that I am nominating people. But let's make no mistake, this is only their true face, and they will play politics right till
well,
the
at
end,
the
right
end of
till
the day,
time
yes,
the
stray
Modi said.
comments should certainly not be made by any leaders, as we are seeing in Madhya Pradesh. But I think it's pretty clear who asked for the ceasefire. It was Pakistan. That is something that our DGMO has said, and surely we must trust and believe. Surely we must trust and believe the army.
Of course, but you have to. Of course, everybody believes the army. But what the External Affairs Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, has now said is that he had informed the Pakistanis that we were going to strike the terror launching pads. And now, who will be responsible for our aircrafts which were brought down? How many aircrafts were brought down? Have these questions been answered by the External Affairs Minister? No. He is responsible if anything like that has happened.
One second. How many aircrafts were brought down? Whether they were brought down or not, that is something that we don't need to debate or discuss on TV channels. We are not Pakistan. Pakistan can do this. We are very different. Let that be the subject of an internal army inquiry. There are certain issues, Sujata, that cannot be put out in public domain. There are certain issues, Sujata, that cannot be put out in public domain. As we've heard from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and as we've heard from the army establishment, Operation Sindoor has not ended. Operation Sindoor has not ended. It is currently underway. So when an operation has not ended, you cannot give operational data in public. You cannot give operational data in public. We are not the kind of outlet or digital platform that will allow such anti-national propaganda to be put out. So I will not encourage this kind of discussion at all. Now let's come back to the issue of the politicization of the delegation. Are you in objection? Are you in objection, Sujata Paul, to Shashi Tharoor being nominated as head of a delegation? He is your party MP. He is also someone who was in the running to be United Nations Secretary General in the past. He himself has said that I have a lot of expertise that I can bring to the table, but your party, it seems, does not want him to be the head of the delegation.
The problem with you is that I am saying that the External Affairs Minister should control his mouth. He shouldn't just keep opening his trap.
Let's come back now to the issue. Let's come back. You made your points. You made your points already. Let's come back to the issue at hand. Should Shashi Tharoor be heading this delegation or not? Should Shashi Tharoor be heading this delegation or not?
You know you have the answers to what I'm saying.
Sujata Paul, should Shashi Tharoor be heading this delegation or not?
I am saying that if the Prime Minister had to choose people on his own, then he could have done that.
No, but Sujata Paul, you don't believe Shashi Tharoor is a good choice? You don't believe Shashi Tharoor is a good choice?
I'm asking you why.
You don't believe Shashi Tharoor is a good choice?
I am asking you why did Kiran Rijiju ask for names?
Is Shashi Tharoor a good choice? Is Shashi Tharoor a good choice?
The names also that we would like to send such and such person. Please include his name. He could have said that also, but he didn't.
No, I'm just saying. No, I started out by asking Mukesh Tyagi that if you ask them for names, they are upset that you didn't consider their names. But I'm just curious from you. You don't believe Shashi Tharoor is a good name?
I am asking you about what procedure they have followed.
No, but I'm asking you a question. Do you believe Shashi Tharoor is a good candidate? Do you believe Shashi Tharoor is a good candidate to lead this delegation?
I said.
Do you believe Shashi Tharoor is a good candidate to lead this delegation?
You're not allowing me to speak.
No, I'm asking you a question. You have to answer it, right?
I'm answering that question. I will not answer the way you want me to answer, brother. So diplomatic initiatives are badly needed is how I started. And I'm saying that if the Prime Minister really wanted to choose a particular person, he could have done it. And he could have said that I am
Okay, okay, and now the answer to my question.
Double standards.
And now the answer to
Instead
my
of these
question.
double standards.
Now the
All
answer
our
to my
leaders
question.
are
Is
fantastic.
Shashi
Please
Tharoor a
remember,
good name?
You're not. I'm answering. Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm waiting
Don't
for that. I've been
answer.
waiting for that for the last 2
I say
minutes.
all our leaders are fantastic.
Okay, all our leaders are fantastic, but yet you're upset that Shashi Tharoor has been considered, and not the other. Savir Rodriguez, let me bring you in here. Savir Rodriguez, let me bring you in here. कांग्रेस पार्टी को क्यों चुभ रही है शशि थरूर के नाम का डिसीजन? Interestingly, Prime Minister Modi also made a comment when he was in Kerala, that the fact that Shashi Tharoor was at that inauguration of that port, and the fact that the left was also at the inauguration of the port, is going to give some sleepless nights. I think those sleepless nights are starting today, Savio Rodriguez.
Well, Uday, thank you for having me on your show. I listened quite attentively to what Ms. Paul said and the other speakers as well. But let me just put my two bit. Firstly, it's not about BJP and the Congress. Let's be clear about that. It's about India.
Absolutely. On this issue, absolutely.
And India's representatives are the members of parliament, whether they are ruling or whether they are in the opposition. When they come together in parliament, they represent India. Now we have a crisis in hand, and at that crisis that we are experiencing right now, we are at a stage where advocacy and communication with the rest of the world is very imminent and very necessary. So today, if the team that heads this government decides to put together from all political parties, people with the experience, the caliber, and most importantly, the ability to communicate the crisis at hand with the rest of the world, I don't seem to understand why are people having a political upmanship about it. The country doesn't care whether it's BJP or Congress. What the country is looking at is there are people within the parliament that have got skill sets that can take the message that India wants to give to the rest of the world and take it professionally, take it diplomatically, and take it effectively. Having said that, one of the most experienced of the selected members of parliament is Shashi Tharoor himself. But then there is also Kani Mochi, there is also Supriya Sole, there are also leaders from the Shiv Sena, there are leaders from the TMC. Why are we getting into this upmanship about BJP, Congress, and other political parties? Right now, the most necessary thing for us to do is to give the Ministry of External Affairs the added support that it requires as far as the parliamentarians taking messages to the rest of the world is concerned. Don't we get parliamentarians from other countries coming into India, bringing the messages that they have at that point of time of their country to us? We're doing the same thing. So today, when we are functioning in the government, you have a parliamentary committee that is formed. You have various different other committees that are formed. They are formed with members of parliament. At that point of time, are people arguing whether they are Congress or whether they are BJP or whether they are TMC or Shiv Sena? The answer is no. So look at this government as India, because it is the Indian government. It is not the BJP government or the Congress government. A government inside that parliamentary house is the government of India. The Prime Minister belongs to India. The leader of the opposition belongs to India. They are representing India, right? That is the crust of this problem. Why is it that we look at everything through the lens of politics?
Nikhil Jain, are there certain issues that shouldn't be politicized? At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, at the end of the day,
imagine, Uday, you've got Miss Paul asking us to believe in what Donald Trump is saying. Who is Donald Trump other than the President of America? Why should I believe on Donald Trump and not believe the armed forces senior leaders who actually had a press conference, or the Prime Minister, or Jay Shankar? They are representatives of my country. Why should I listen to Donald Trump? Why should I accept what Donald Trump is saying?
Savio, Uday came to me half a minute ago here. I was giving you the courtesy to complete your point.
Nikhil Jain, come in here. Nikhil Jain, come in here, because the point, of course, is very clearly, Nikhil, that there are certain issues that obviously shouldn't be politicized. There are certain issues where the country should stand united. And this is one of them. This is going to be a delegation which is not going to different states in the country. This is a delegation that's going to go to different countries in the world. And Is this the right way to start it? By having such politics? Nikhil Jain, you don't believe Shashi Tharoor is a good fit to lead a delegation like this? Haven't you been hearing his interviews across the world through Operation Sindoor? Don't you believe he is a good speaker or not?
Uday, can I please answer? Yeah. So the first things first, terror attacks should not be politicized. 100% agreed with you. No qualms about that. Secondly, whether Shashi Tharoor is a good representative in a delegation like this or not, I feel he's one of the best representatives that the country has today across political lines. There can be no debate about it, no matter what the Congress or the BJP says. But my point here is slightly different. The point is that 7 members of parliament, sitting members of parliament, have been chosen to represent India, not the BJP or the central government, but the Indian state in front of other countries in wake of the terror attacks and the subsequent action that we carried out and the subsequent pause or ceasefire that has happened. Now, the point is whether these names were chosen because of building political consensus and sending out a message to the world that every political party in India stands together, or were these names chosen because of the competence and previous experience of the people chosen so far. Now, Dr. Tharoor has the absolutely right and appropriate experience and competence. Nobody can question that. But if it was competence alone, the other names on the list would not be there. Supriya Sule, for instance, or Eknath Shinde, for instance, these aren't people who've been associated with international organizations. They are not former diplomats. They are not senior advocates. They are not people who are particularly adept at something like this. But yes, of course, there are big political leaders in the country. Nobody can deny that. So if the consensus or if the reason for choosing the names was building political consensus and showing that to the world, then I don't quite understand why could the BJP not respect the wishes of the parties that it approached and take on board the names that were proposed by the party. See, had the Congress party proposed some...
Let's put out that breaking inputs coming in. Let's put out that breaking news coming in. That's one of the news that Sujata Paul had just raised on in a point a short while back. Let's put it out on our screens now. The Ministry of External Affairs has responded to Rahul Gandhi. The Ministry of External Affairs has responded to Rahul Gandhi of the Congress. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has stated, we had warned Pakistan at the start, which is clearly the early phase after Operation Sindoor's commencement. This is being falsely represented as being before the commencement. This utter misrepresentation of facts is being called out by the MEA. MEA has issued a statement on what Rahul Gandhi and the Congress have said earlier. MEA issuing a statement on what Sujata Paul also said earlier on the discussion. Yes, Nikhil.
So that's the point.
Yes,
Uday, at this juncture, when we're talking about building a broader political consensus in the country, I don't quite understand why the Ministry of External Affairs has to put out press releases calling the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha a liar. If the government did feel that Rahul Gandhi did, say something inaccurate, that should have been...
Savio,
I never interjected. You cannot... No, on Savio, I never interjected. Please... Savio, that's not fair. That's not fair.
Savio Rodriguez is fact-checking you. Savio Rodriguez is fact-checking you. Go ahead, Savio.
You'll have to let me speak.
Go ahead, Savio Rodriguez.
He's not called him a liar.
Uday, can I
go ahead, Savio Rodriguez. Savio Rodriguez on this breaking development that's coming in. Savio, go ahead.
That MEA clarification, it's come out right now, so I can't really comment on that.
Savio Rodriguez wants to comment on it. Nikhil Jain, 1 second. Nikhil Jain, 1 second. Savio Rodriguez, please go ahead.
Liar by means of public notification. Secondly, my point was simple on the topic of
Okay. Coming back now to Mukesh Tyagi. Mukesh Tyagi, you heard what Sujata Paul had to say earlier. And of course now Nikhil Jain is saying you are not following protocols, which is why they are upset. It's the BJP that's politicizing, not the Congress. Your response, Mukesh Tyagi. Mukesh Tyagi.
You see, one has to see in the background the entire thing. Congress has been making anti-nation narrative for a very long time. Rahul Gandhi.
Listen, I take strict objection to this. No, you will not call anybody an anti-national. You are an anti-national.
Don't shout. Don't
Your leaders are questioning Colonel Sophia
because she has
You
been
are
talking
an
completely utter
anti-national. You are
nonsense.
politicizing this issue.
Let me speak.
No, I'm sorry.
This is very unfair part of your debate is very sober generally. But I can see the cacophony coming in, the frustration, they're sadistic people, they're highly anti-national people. Congress has been making a narrative because they are feeling completely defeated. Because Congress wants to build up an alternative narrative in the global community arena. And that is your intention. That's the reason you want to send those people who will endorse the opinions that there is no democracy in the country, constitution is in danger,
Your people are questioning the right-wing trolls have been trolling
don't shout. Don't shout.
Sophia Qureshi,
Don't shout.
your right-wing
You're
trolls,
shouting.
you're questioning
You're shouting
Vikram
like you
Misri
have gone through some
because
kind
you
of
are
hysterical fit.
anti-national. You are
You don't shout.
anti-national.
You go and shout on your Rahul Gandhi, who is making anti-national narrative on the international
keep your
forum. Go
mouth
and shout
shut.
there.
Don't you dare call anybody an anti-national.
Your
You are
Sandeep
an
Dixit
anti-national. You
said,
are an
General of the Army as Gali ka Gunda.
You
This is the
are.
kind of reverence
And
and
you
respect you have for the Indian Army. You are continuously ridiculing
you are
Indian
an
Army. You are asking for
anti-national. That's what
evidence.
you
You are
are.
very happy
Don't
that
you
Pakistan.
dare.
You are endorsing Pakistan narrative.
See,
Let me tell you,
here.
Sujata Paul, and that is what
Vinit,
makes you
I will
happy.
not allow
Okay, let me get in. Savio Rodriguez to come in. Savio Rodriguez, come in here. Savio Rodriguez coming here. The MEA has also issued this comment. The MEA has responded to Rahul Gandhi. The MEA said this statement is completely misrepresented by the Congress party. Savio Rodriguez on the MEA clarification. Go ahead, Savio. Savio, okay, one second, please. Sujata and Mukesh, you made your point. I have to come in here. Sujata Paul has taken umbrage to what Mukesh Tyagi has said. I'm coming in here. Savio Rodriguez, let me bring you in here. Savio on the MEA clarification. Go ahead.
Well,
Savio, the MEA says Rahul Gandhi is misrepresenting facts. The Congress is being irresponsible. Savio.
When I personally did see that video, which had come out, which was even carried by the ANI, it obviously left certain loopholes in that communication. But when I went and background and checked again to verify what was said, the communication happened after the 9 terror camps were attacked by India. This was done by the Indian government to inform Pakistan that we will escalate the matter if they don't stop firing at the LOC. So while the Congress is using it for a leverage as far as targeting Jai Shankar is concerned, I think they need to look at the larger picture and the bigger picture, which is India. So the Ministry of External Affairs has clarified its position. I'm going to accept their position as what it is, because I believe right now it is important for us to stand with the country and understand that we are doing everything within the power.
Yes, Sujata Paul. The MEA believes that that's being irresponsible, that this is twisting S. J. Shankar's statement. Your comment. Yes, your comment.
Look, Vinit, this is a democracy, and if there are questions raised, like Savio Rodriguez, who clearly supports the BJP, if he is also saying that it did seem as if there were many loopholes, then we have every right as the principal opposition party to ask a question. And if a clarification comes, that is where it should end. But anybody calling anybody in this country an anti-national will not be acceptable. And politicization of Operation Sindoor must never happen. Because it is the Sindoor that we are talking about. No, you are an anti-national. How can you call a statement an anti-national? This is a democracy. And you are a dull badlu. That's what you are.
All the video clips.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi does not have the guts to talk to the opposition leaders. He only played dirty games. When he came back, he did not attend the all-party meet. He went to Bihar to attend a rally. He went to Kerala to make fun. No, you don't cover up. Don't follow instructions to the T. The instructions given to the BJP was make it Hindu Mussalman. That is what they are doing. That's all. And when they are failed, they are trying to do this only to gain mileage for the Bihar elections. And that is why they are playing this dirty politics. When you talk
Nikhil Jain, last word to you. Who's guilty of politicizing the fallout of Operation Sindoor? Who's guilty of politicizing Operation Sindoor and its fallout? Nikhil Jain, who is guilty of politicizing now the fallout of Operation Sindoor? Nikhil, last word, I need to wrap up.
Okay, I don't know where the debate went with all the cacophony that was going around. It's certainly not right for the spokesperson of any political party to be calling another party anti-national. If indeed the Congress party is anti-national, then why is Dr. Tharoor being sent to a diplomatic delegation abroad? Why is an anti-national being sent abroad? My point was simple that I was trying to make when Savio interjected me.
So you believe Shashi Tharoor should not be sent? You believe Shashi Tharoor should not be sent?
Uday, you can't break
I
down
said
things
Rahul
so
Gandhi
complex
made an
into the sort
anti-national
of.
statement. Please take my
No, no, no.
clarification.
You said that
I
the
said
Congress
Rahul
Party,
Gandhi made an
sir. You said
anti-national
the Congress
statement.
Party is
And that's why
anti-national,
Rahul
and
Gandhi is
Shashi
heading the
Tharoor is a
Congress
member of the
Party.
Indian National Congress. That apart, can I please make
No,
the point
please don't
today that I was
misquote me.
trying to make, Mr. Tyagi?
Nikhil,
Mr.
don't
Tyagi, please
misquote me,
go.
please.
Quickly,
Mr.
Nikhil,
Tyagi,
please. I have to take a break. Nikhil Jain,
all right,
quickly.
all right. You
I
can
said
say. Let me
Rahul
make it
Gandhi
my
Nikhil
point.
Jain, quickly, 30 seconds.
There's no
Nikhil
point
Jain,
with
30
arguing
seconds,
with
I have to
somebody
take a
who's
break.
going to lie so blatantly. All right, you did not say that. Let me please.
Nikhil
just
Jain,
make my
quickly,
point.
I have
My
to take a
point
break.
was
30
simple.
seconds. Who's guilty of politicizing Operation Sindoor and its fallout?
No, Uday, my point was that the political consensus should have been shown to the world that there is strong political consensus between different parties in India.
Yes.
And the way to do
But
it
is that happening?
to take the political parties on board and respect their choices and decisions. The Congress Party gave 4 names, some of which were very credible people like Mr. Anand Sharma and Mr. Manish Tiwari. They could have been chosen to respect the Congress Party's wishes. I'm not saying there are better choices than Dr. Tharoor. I personally think there is no single better choice in the country than Dr. Tharoor. But it is not about merely competence. Had it been that, Eknath Shinde probably would not have been the best choice from his party or from the ruling alliance. But that's not how it is. It is about political consensus. So why can you not make that political consensus? And now you have the MEA coming out with clarifications like this. Like
So Nikhil
Ms.
Jain,
Paul pointed
Savio
out,
says,
that
Nikhil
Savio
Jain
himself
says,
could be confused, and there was a
Savio,
lot
even
of
if
reports
Shashi
in the
Tharoor
media.
is the best choice, if Shashi Tharoor is the best choice, don't choose him because the Congress Party doesn't want him. Savio.
Blame Rahul Gandhi for
Savio.
Blame Rahul Gandhi for
Savio.
and miscommunication by the
Savio.
minister. It's not just Rahul Gandhi's fault. It's
Savio
also the
Rodriguez.
minister's fault.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think we've lost him. All right, let's take a break. We've
No,
run
I'm
totally
here.
out of time. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. Much more on the other side.